Day 1. Marcus Webb is 51 years old, and he has spent the last 26 years working inside other people's pharmaceutical companies. He started as a process engineer at a mid-sized generics manufacturer in New Jersey, learned how tablets were made, learned how the FDA thought about quality, learned how the money moved through the supply chain, and then spent the next 2 decades climbing into senior operations roles at 2 of the largest drug manufacturers in the country. He knows this business better than almost anyone. And for the last 5 years, he has been watching a specific opportunity get larger and more obvious every single quarter. The opportunity is this. The United States imports approximately 72% of its active pharmaceutical ingredients, the chemical compounds that actually make drugs work, from overseas manufacturers, primarily in China and India. During the COVID-19 pandemic, that dependence became a national security conversation almost overnight. Supply chains broke, shortages appeared, and suddenly Congress, the Department of Defense, and every major hospital system in the country started asking the same question. Why does the United States not manufacture its own drug ingredients? Marcus has been asking that question for years, and now, in the spring of 2024, he has decided to stop asking and start building. He sits down at his kitchen table in Parsippany, New Jersey, opens a new spreadsheet, and begins calculating what it would actually cost to build a small but fully compliant pharmaceutical active ingredient manufacturing facility from the ground up. The number that comes back stops him for a moment. Not because it is larger than he expected, because it is almost exactly what he expected, and it is still a very large number. $47 million. That is his estimate for a facility capable of producing 3 to 5 active pharmaceutical ingredients at commercial scale, meeting every FDA current good manufacturing practice requirement, fully equipped, fully validated, and ready to supply finished drug manufacturers across the United States. $47 million before he has hired a single person, signed a single customer contract, or produced a single gram of product. He closes the spreadsheet, pours himself a coffee, and starts making phone calls. Day 45. Marcus has spent 6 weeks doing 2 things simultaneously: talking to investors and talking to potential customers. The investor conversations are harder than he expected, not because the opportunity is unconvincing, but because pharmaceutical manufacturing is a category that most venture capitalists and private equity investors do not understand well enough to move quickly. The regulatory complexity frightens them. The timeline to revenue frightens them more. One investor asks Marcus how long it will take from breaking ground to shipping the first commercial batch of product. Marcus tells him the truth: 30 to 36 months at minimum, assuming no major regulatory delays. The investor thanks him for his time and does not call back. But the customer conversations are going better than Marcus anticipated. He has spoken to 14 finished dose manufacturers, the companies that take active ingredients and turn them into the tablets, capsules, and injectables that pharmacies and hospitals actually purchase. 11 of them have told him the same thing in different words. If you can build a reliable domestic source for the ingredients we currently buy from overseas, we will pay a premium for it. Not a small premium, a meaningful one. One procurement director at a mid-sized generics company in Pennsylvania tells Marcus that his company currently pays $180 per kilogram for a specific cardiovascular ingredient sourced from a manufacturer in Hyderabad. He would pay $240 per kilogram for the same quality from a domestic supplier because the supply chain reliability alone is worth the difference. That conversation changes the shape of Marcus's spreadsheet significantly. By the end of week 6, Marcus has 3 signed letters of intent from potential customers, a financial model showing $18 million in annual revenue at full production, and a meeting scheduled with a specialty pharmaceutical private equity firm in New York that has expressed genuine interest. He also has a site in mind: a former chemical manufacturing facility in Allentown, Pennsylvania that has been vacant for 4 years, sits on 11 acres. Has existing utility infrastructure capable of supporting pharmaceutical production, and is available for $4.2 million. Day 90. The private equity firm commits $31 million in equity. Marcus contributes $2.1 million of his own savings, the result of 26 years of living below his means and investing carefully. A Pennsylvania Economic Development Authority provides a $6 million low-interest loan, attracted by the promise of 140 manufacturing jobs in a region that lost significant industrial employment over the previous decade. The remaining $8 million comes from a commercial bank credit facility secured against the real estate and equipment. Total capital raised $47.1 million. Marcus signs the purchase agreement on the Allentown site on a Tuesday morning, shakes hands with the seller, and drives back to Parsippany with the strange feeling of a man who has just committed everything he has to an idea he has been carrying for 5 years. He spends the drive home thinking about the FDA. Because the FDA is not a regulator you can charm or negotiate with or manage around. It is a system with specific expectations about how pharmaceutical manufacturing facilities are designed, operated, documented, and validated. And the process of demonstrating to that system that your facility meets its expectations is called inspection and approval, and it cannot be rushed, shortened, or substituted. Marcus has been through 2 FDA inspections as an employee of other companies. He knows what they look like from the inside. He is about to find out what they look like when it is your name on the door. Day 180. Construction has begun. Marcus has hired a pharmaceutical facility design firm out of Philadelphia that has built 11 FDA-approved manufacturing sites over the past 20 years. Their fee is $3.8 million. He has also hired his first 6 employees. A head of quality assurance named Diana Chen, who left a senior role at a large generics manufacturer in New Jersey to join him, taking a modest pay cut in exchange for equity. A head of regulatory affairs named Thomas Okafor, who has guided 4 pharmaceutical facilities through FDA approval processes over a 15-year career. A chief financial officer named Sandra Reyes, who has run finance for 2 specialty pharmaceutical companies and understands the specific cash flow dynamics of a pre-revenue manufacturing business, and 3 process engineers who will design, install, and validate the production equipment. Monthly payroll at this stage, $187,000. Monthly construction draw, approximately $1.4 million. Monthly cash burn, $1.6 million. Marcus sits in the site trailer every morning reviewing the construction schedule and the cash position simultaneously, aware that the $47 million he raised is not infinite, and that every month of delay in reaching commercial production is a month of burn without revenue to offset it. He has approximately 28 months of runway at current burn rates before the money runs out. The construction timeline says the facility will be ready for equipment installation in 14 months. Equipment installation and validation will take another 6 months. FDA inspection and approval, if everything goes correctly, will take another 4 to 6 months after that. That is 24 to 26 months from today to first revenue. Marcus has 2 months of margin. He does not sleep particularly well.